So the date was Valentine's, February 14th, 2019, and instead of spending a romantic Valentine's with my wife, we were actually being airlifted out of a hostile environment in Haiti to come back to the United States after serving for 2 years as missionaries in that country. And really, photography saved my life through therapy. I'm going to be explaining why in this video coming up. Hey, what's up guys? David Johnston here. On this channel we talk landscape photography and how it can benefit you, how you can get better. So if you're into that, go ahead and hit subscribe to this channel. Now, my wife and I had just spent 2 years as missionaries in Haiti, and frankly we saw some pretty wild stuff while we were there. It was the best of times and it was also the worst of times. So when we came back, we had a plethora of emotions that we were feeling and a lot that we had to unpack, but it seemed like nobody that we ever talked to understood what we truly went through or what we were going through at the time. Now, through therapy and being one-on-one with a counselor, they helped us work through those things on individual sessions. One of the things that my counselor actually described to me was what I told her sounded like my workflow when I was taking photos in the field. And she said, you know what? It sounds like you're practicing mindfulness a lot when you're in the field, and I would encourage you to really dig down into that. Through a lot of digging and research on my own, I discovered the term art therapy and how photography could be a form of art therapy. Using this platform, I started to discover a new way of how photography could be a way of self-expression and therapy through what I was doing and seeing in the field. You see, when I go and take photos, I really get involved in the place that I'm at. And with mindfulness, pairing those two together, you really get a good relationship with where you're going to photograph, whether you know that place intimately or you don't really know it that well. So to use photography as therapy, what you do is you spend a lot of time in the field. I know a lot of times that we can be rushed or there's a lot of people around us and that can be really distracting. But I would encourage you to slow down and think about your senses of how you're experiencing the place. How are you hearing sounds? What are you hearing and what's coming to the attention of your hearing senses? What do you see? And photography, obviously, we photograph what we see and how we see it, but what do you really see? Like, spend a lot of time just looking at the overall landscape and then spend a lot of time looking at the individual small pieces that make up that landscape. Now you're pairing sight and sound together and you're starting to be more present in the place in a form of mindfulness and a really good form of meditation before you start the photography process. Next, what are you smelling? And yes, smell does have a lot to do with photography. I always use the example of in the fall, when leaves fall on the ground and it rains a lot, they start to decompose. That has a specific smell of kind of like this mulchiness or this earthiness. You can use smells to help you notice things in the field and really be aware of the things around you. So now we have hearing, we have sight, we have smell. Touch can be a really good one. What does the moss feel like? What does tree bark feel like? What do the rocks feel like? And then also your taste. Taste has a ton to do with how we are able to revisit a place. So when you use all these and use all of your senses, you become fully present in a place. And there are different strategies to do this. When I go out and use this technique, I don't listen to any music or any podcasts on my way to a place, but I really surround myself with silence. And really when I get in the field, my senses are already attuned to what I need to hear, see, taste, smell, touch when I get there so that I can take more intimate photos and more direct photos. And personally, I have a deeper appreciation for my photos through this practice of using photography as a form of therapy. Not only did it help me with my photography and I saw improvement in my photography, but it also helped me understand my emotions and what I was going through at the time when I was fighting PTSD PTSD, anxiety, depression, and panic attacks at the same time, photography really pulled me out of that hole and helped me through it. And using mindfulness and photography in the same practice really is what helped me do that. So photography can be a form of therapy, and I really hope that this and understanding this is going to help you guys if you're going through anything as well. If you need help, please seek a counselor. I can't stress that enough. They help me a ton. Yes, it can be scary, but the bravest thing to do is to go and seek out that help and admit that you're going through something.